When founders are less involved in their companies, what happens is innovation actually grinds to a halt and bureaucracy goes up a lot. And this causes a brain drain. Now, when I used to work in the hedge fund industry, I was always really worried about companies when the founder bought a sports team and became much less involved in the day-to-day operations of the company, meaning a big distraction. And what happens is innovation grinds to a halt when the founder is less engaged in the company. And what happens also is new product offerings come mainly from acquisitions and less so from internal organic innovation. So buy versus build becomes a common theme. And this is what I think is going to happen with Amazon. I think that going forward, a lot of Amazon's innovations will come from buying versus building. And I think that Amazon's M&A department is going to be incredibly active. They're going to do a lot of deals. Now, Amazon, it's impressive. They built an incredibly sophisticated corporate finance division that quite often does not need to hire investment bankers to do big deals. This is rare. And so I actually expect Amazon to do massive deals or many smaller acquisitions, assuming the Department of Justice doesn't block them. And so we're actually starting to see a brain drain and a mass exodus from Amazon senior executives. And one data point doesn't make a trend, but 50 does. 50 is the number of Amazon vice presidents that have recently quit. Now, why does innovation materially slow down when the founder leaves or becomes less involved in the day-to-day operations of the company? Why does that happen? Because what quite often happens is founders are longer-term focused. And what happens is founders take more risks, and if they screw up, the board of directors and most investors still love them. And if you're a senior executive or a vice president at a company, and the biggest risk taker in the company, meaning the founder, resigns, then you might actually take a little bit less risk because the board of directors and investors are so short-term focused unless you're the founder. It is what it is. So what often happens is executives think to themselves, if I take a risk with a new product, and if I fail with this risk, I could lose my job. And if I take a risk and I am successful, it's going to be hard to make CEO. So maybe I'll get a little bump up in base pay and a few more options of our stock that's already valued at way more than $1.5 trillion. And I won't get those vested options for 4 years. So if I wanted to get paid a lot, maybe what I'll do is I'll just join a startup, or I'll just stay here and play the politics and, keep collecting my paychecks and slowly climb the corporate ladder. So the issue is, if this happens, how do you incentivize employees to take more risks? Well, it's a conundrum. And I actually had a really good buddy that worked at Hewlett Packard for years. And it was once an amazing company, of course, until the founders left. Then what they did was they resorted to buying versus building, and then they realized that they're not being innovative anymore, so they changed their marketing campaign to invent. Remember that? And so my buddy at Hewlett Packard, he called me and he said, Chris, I want to quit. Can you help me with my resume? And I said, I'd love to, buddy. I then asked him, what have you learned that we can put on your resume? And he told me that he learned how to navigate Hewlett Packard corporate politics, which unfortunately is not a portable skill. And so the bottom line is that the massive senior executive turnover at Amazon and the creation of their sophisticated corporate finance department that doesn't use investment bankers much kind of signals that we should expect Amazon's innovation to come more so from acquisitions than from internally generated R&D efforts, unless, in my very humble opinion, Jeff Bezos gets more involved with the company.